So I think, I can mention some really kind of key perspective points that I would have applicants keep in mind as they're going through this process. The first thing I would say, and this is probably my most important piece of advice, is to be yourself and be genuine. I know that sounds simple, but it's really, really important. And there's a lot of ways to stand out in this process. That's probably the most common question I got when I used to do recruiting trips at the University of Chicago, which was, how can I stand out? How can I make myself unique? And there's a number of ways to do that. One way is, of course, with your quantitative factors, with your LSAT and GPA. But another way, it's really by being truly authentic, by being genuine. And, there's a few ways where, this is the most relevant. I think first is with your essays, particularly your personal statements. A lot of applicants write to a hypothetical admissions committee. And you can tell that they're doing that, and you can tell that they're writing what they think they're supposed to write, or what they think the law school wants to hear. It can sound stilted. It often sounds overly formal. They kind of start the same, like with a hook, to try to get the reader's attention. Convincing the reader how much they know about the law, and those aren't the things that you need to do. I always say that your audience isn't this mythical admissions committee. Your audience is you. Your job is to get the ideas that are in your head down on the page and to communicate them in an authentic way that's in your voice. And you need to be professional, and it needs to be a great piece of writing, but you still want to be yourself. And it is shocking, like, how much that stands out when you're spending a day reading applications and they all sound the same. When you get someone who really, you can see the person behind it, it's huge. It's such a way that people stand out. The other thing I would say to keep in mind on this note is, to engage in this process of self-reflection. We commonly hear from applicants, I'm not interesting, or there's nothing special about me, there's nothing interesting about me, I haven't experienced any real adversity, or I don't have a defining accomplishment, and that's okay. This process of self-reflection is really understanding, like, who you are, who am I, what do I have to say, what are my transformative experiences. There isn't one set of experiences or background that law schools are looking for. Everyone has a voice and has something to say. So, law schools aren't, looking for the same set of experiences, the same profile. They want a variety of people. And, I think I just always encourage our applicants to really get in touch with who they are and their message, and, and communicate that to law schools in an authentic way. I think that's, one of the most important things they can keep in mind. The other, important point that I would make is, and I spoke to this a bit earlier when we were talking about addenda and how all the application pieces fit together, but it's to put effort into the process. This is another way to stand out. These little things, they add up. Taking your time, put the effort in. This is your chance to present yourself and create your narrative. And so the cohesiveness and how you frame issues and circumstances in your application, your attention to detail, make a huge difference. And you can absolutely tell when someone has put the effort in. It's thinking about how all the pieces of your application go together. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't want a GPA addendum and an LSAT addendum. If you're coming, think about, is my application going to feel like one big explanation? If you're coming straight from undergrad, and don't have a lot of work experience, think about areas where your application may be a bit lighter. Maybe if that's your situation, maybe a more serious or academic topic, is a better choice for you. Something that allows you to show some intellectual depth and maturity. But it's always thinking about kind of getting that handle on who am I, my strengths and weaknesses, and how are all these different pieces of the application going to fit together. And then paying attention to those details. Make sure the dates in your resume are all formatted the same. Your header is the same on all your documents. You're varying, your word choice and your sentence structure. you're, saying you're expressing your ideas in the most precise way possible. Those things all add up, and we can talk certainly, through questions or any follow up on specific parts of the application. But I think those are some of the overarching themes I would like applicants to keep in mind.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.